My educational giant is Horace Mann. He is also known as the father of the common school. He was born in Franklin, Massachusetts in 1796. His schooling was made up from 8 to 10 weeks of the year, and he was also self-taught himself, mostly through books. When he went to Brown University in 1816 and studied law, he then ran for state senate and won in 1833. He first practiced in Dedham and Boston, Massachusetts. As a man of the law, he successfully represented the First Parish Church of Milton in the removal of the minister, because he wasn't following all the rules. He held campaigns to organize schools into state systems, as well as to create state board of education. He was invited to deliver a local Independence Day speech, and Samuel Adams had just been elected president and found out that he was going to have a nice long career and predicted that. In his speech, in the Independence speech, he outlined basic principles. He argued that education, intelligent use of the elective franchise, and religious freedom are the means by which American liberties are preserved. So he obviously thought those were important. So when he started his educational career, he left his law practice and became the Secretary of Education in 1837. So he would publish these annual reports. He actually ended up publishing 12 annual reports on aspects of his work and programs and the internal relationship between education, freedom, and Republican government. His reports were distributed in other states and abroad, and he was known all over the place. He became significant and influenced educational legislation and practice throughout the country. And he wanted something important for schools. He wanted to make sure that all kids had the opportunity to get an education, whether they were poor, whether they were rich. So he wanted school to be able to be available for all. And he didn't want school to be a birthright. He wanted to make sure that it was the great equalizer. That's what he would call it. Common school would be the great equalizer. And then when they went to the school and they found out he went to the other schools and decided that, man, they're really unsanitary and they didn't have the right material, so he would try to help. So his vision for the common school, I'm going to just read a little insert that he said. It knows no distinction of the rich and poor, of bond and free, or between those in the imperfect light of this world are seeking through different avenues to reach the gate of heaven. Without money and without price, it throws open its doors and spreads the table of its bounty for all the children of the state. Like the sun, it shines, not only upon the good, but also upon the evil, that they may become good, and like the rain, its blessings descend, not only upon the just, but upon the unjust, that may depart from them and be no more. So that was very interesting, and I agree with him. I think that it's important that every child gets an education because it's lifelong, and also it's the only thing you can really take to heaven with you. So when he campaigned for the education, he tried to increase support for education as well as support public awareness of the flaws that the school systems had. And so because of Mann, he helped the education, and he made state appropriations to educations, and they were doubled. He made 50 new secondary schools. He improved the textbooks and the equipment, and then teacher salaries in Massachusetts went up 50%. The minimum length of the school year was extended to 6 months, and that's kind of funny to think about because school now for children is about 10 months, I would say, maybe a little less, probably like 8 months. But so the teaching profession, he established 3 teaching training schools for teachers to be able to go, like we have now for college. And then he also created the first state-supported schools in America. Through his contribution of education, it helped the economic growth. He also thought that in order for the schools to be supported, that they should be taxed, like they should be supported through the taxes. So, and then in his 10th annual report in 1846, Mann asserted that education was the right of every child, and that it was the state's responsibility to ensure that every child was provided an education. In his 7th annual report in 1843 was that his observations in the Prussian schools, and they had the Petzolian methods. And so he was very humanitarian. He helped treat the ill and tried to support abolishing slavery. He is particularly impressed with the love and support shared by the teachers and students in these Prussian schools. He believed that women were ultimately better teachers because of their nurturing and the love that they supported. So, the end of Horace Mann's career was he resigned as Secretary of Education in 1848. He went to the U.S. House of Representatives, took post of President of Antioch College in 1852, and then died on August 27th, 1859, leaving an amazing example and legacy. And one of his big quotes and mottos was, "I beseech you to treasure up in your hearts these my parting words. Be ashamed to die until you have won some victory for humanity." Obviously, Horace Mann was such a wonderful man and created so many opportunities for teachers, so many opportunities for children nowadays, and he truly was a good example of a humanitarian. And from now on, we will have great schools and great teachers as long as, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. And I'm definitely grateful for Horace Mann. Otherwise, I don't think we'd have the educational systems that we do now. So, thank you.